in this episode how to get the most out of your coach and out of your training. A very common problem that is noticeable these days is due to the availability of a lot of training information out there because of the internet obviously, and the availability of different lifters, famous lifters' training programs and things like that. Not to mention different articles on training all over the internet, on various websites and YouTube videos and stuff like that. Some good, some not so good and not so accurate. People have more and more access to these things these days, and so naturally they want to become more knowledgeable and more informed about what training is and how to train and how to diet and how to eat and how to get stronger, etc., etc. There is a problem that arises from this. People can easily get emotionally involved in their training, and that's bad. If you want to really get the most out of your training, especially if you're somebody who has a coach, and really if you want to get the best out of your training, it is highly recommended that you do get a coach for various reasons that have been discussed in other videos and will be discussed more in future videos. But if you have a coach, especially, and you're still getting directly involved in your programming, especially emotionally involved, then you're hindering your progress for a number of reasons. So prime examples of this is a younger lifter, for example, who jumps on the internet, looks up ways to improve the bench press, and reads conflicting evidence, conflicting data, and doesn't know what reputable sources to look through to get information about something like the bench press. So they try whatever they've read or whatever they've learned from the internet, and after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, no real results come about. Obviously, there's going to be frustration that follows up from something like this. So what do? The cycle continues and repeats. The thing that they can do is jump back on the internet and try and find other articles, read other forums and things like that, and try out the whole thing again. Or worse yet, maybe even find a cookie cutter program that may or may not suit their needs, short-term or long-term. What instead this person will probably need to do to get the best out of their training, to cut the learning curve short dramatically, is to have a coach. But when you have a coach, then you need to be able to trust the coach. You need to be able to take yourself out of the equation and just become more or less like a robot, executing what the coach has been given you. If the coach you have trust in and has the experience that you obviously have searched this person out based on your research, based on recommendations and things like that. So if this person is telling you that we're going to run this, this and this, sure, you can definitely and must give feedback to this coach to be able to improve upcoming cycles and things like that. But if you are a type of person that you're getting your program, but you're also concurrently at the same time, for example, jumping on the internet, jumping on YouTube, trying to find ways to maybe disprove things that have been written in the program, or find ways to even improve what's been written in the program, you're probably going to do yourself a disservice in the long run, because you don't know what sort of a mind frame or point of view that program's been written for, as far as the coach is concerned. And so it's important to be able to detach yourself as an athlete. The true coachable athletes out there are the ones that are able to do that. Over here at Adonis Athletics, all of our athletes who have reached the highest of highs is because they've been able to just simply execute on a program, been able to be just detached from any particular decisions that they see on the program. Maybe they'll ask questions of why this is happening and this is happening, and that's absolutely fine. An athlete should do that. But there is enough trust on both parties to the other party that each individual party is doing their respective responsibilities to the best of their abilities. And that's the best way to progress. If you are somebody who is seeking out a coach, has a coach, and is getting advice from that coach, you need to be able to be almost robotic in your involvement in your program, in your training, and be able to just execute, give feedback, and let the coach do his job. And as long as there is progress, you need to give time for that progress, obviously, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. As long as there is progress, then that coach is guiding you down the right path. And it's in the coach's best interest to guide you down the right path. So if you've heard good things about that coach, good reviews, and you've made the decision to ultimately seek out this coach, and you're giving the feedback that you need to give, and there is progress, happening week by week, month by month, to the degree that it's supposed to be there, then just stick it out and don't get involved emotionally. Just give the feedback and get the feedback in return and just execute on it, just robotically, and let the rest happen. I guarantee you'll get more out of your program that way.
That's the tip. Today we're going to talk about what variations to do and when to do them.